First place I'll start with is this to-do list. So to-do list is really meant to bring actionable items to the surface. So for instructors, it's what items do I need to grade today? What items do I need to score? For students log in, they know exactly which items they still need to submit or complete. And students can even create this list view. So these represent the courses I'm teaching as an instructor, the courses that students would be enrolled in as a student. I can drag and drop, I can move these around, and you can even color code these. If I make this blue, that color is going to persist with early American history everywhere in Canvas. Now, you can also nickname your courses. Now, these little icons here are also going to persist everywhere in Canvas. These represent the content. So announcements, assignments, discussions, these are badged to notify students when there's new content in your courses. If we move over to the global navigation tab here, this is also something that's going to persist everywhere in Canvas, the help tab. So we talked about the Canvas guides. These are going to be available here on the help tab. So you can customize this menu so instructors, students can easily access any information that they need. Here, we're going to go into my Monday, Wednesday, Friday psychology course. I can set the homepage as the syllabus. I can set it as the course modules. And then with this to-do list, you'll see that it has funneled down specific to this course. Now, this little icon here with an eye with a cross through it, this means that these items are not going to be visible to students. Go to student view. It's going to allow you to act as a test student in your course. You could even submit assignments. That test student data will show up in the gradebook. I'm going to go into these modules here, lesson 1, lesson 2. If you're going by time, you can do week 1, week 2, or chapter 1, chapter 2. I've got all this content here as I'm building it out. I can even drag and drop and move these assignments around. I could drag and drop and move the entire modules around. We've created prerequisites and requirements, and this allows you to require students to show some level of mastery or access before moving on to some of the later, more complex contents. You could even make requirements as simple as you have to participate in a discussion in order to go into lesson 5. You could even lock it by date. Anywhere you're creating content in Canvas, you're going to have access to this rich content editor. Students will have access to this as well. So it allows for easy creation of content, taking all of that amazing content you have and putting it in your course here. And so a couple things we'll start off with is you can drop in HTML links. We could go in here and we could upload images directly from our desktop. We also have access to course images here, or we have a third-party tool called Unsplash. It's going to give you access to thousands of royalty-free images. So if I wanted to search for, we're in psychology, so I can search for a brain here. It's going to pull up all of these royalty-free images that you can access, drag and drop directly in your course. You can either upload pre-recorded content, or I can record a video message right in here. Here you can upload documents, and then this little plugin tool is where you're going to have access to all third-party tools. These are going to be embedded right within the rich content editor, so you're not being dragged out to another window. Everything is done right here in Canvas. Here we're going to set a due date for the 29th. That's going to be for everyone in the class, but maybe we know that Aaron needs a week extra. So we can go right in here, and right from this assignment settings, we can give Aaron until the 5th to complete that. Great thing about this is dynamic. Everyone in the course is going to see the due date of October 29th, but Aaron will see on his submission and on his course and calendar, anywhere there's a date associated with it, he'll see November 5th. Next thing I want to talk about is the grading process. And so there's many ways to get to the speed grader. I'll just go back to show you an example of what it looks like from the to-do list. You're going to see these are my top items I still need to grade. I'm going to go into this grade critical thinking assignment here. And the really cool thing about this is it allows you to grade, mark up, annotate right here in Doc View. This is supported by Apple Pencil. We're grading a research paper here. If this was a video submission, it would be the same process. This supports, I think, over 25 different types of documents. If this was a discussion post, everything would be rendering right here in Doc View. But I've started marking this up. I've highlighted some sections. I've annotated. I've marked out some words here. And I've even provided some feedback right here in the doc. And so the really cool thing about this is not only am I able to provide feedback right here in the doc, but when I submit this back to my student and they see this, they're going to see this feedback. They can actually go right into the document and they can provide feedback to my comment. If you were using something like a rubric to score, all we have to do is go ahead and tally up these points here, and it's automatically going to total these points once I save. And once I submit that assignment, it's automatically going to the gradebook. The gradebook column is already going to be created for you, and you can grade right here in SpeedGrader. It's going to send that grade to the gradebook, and you can move on to the next student just by tapping this arrow here, and you can see all the students that we still need to go in and grade. So one more thing on the rubric here is you're seeing this little icon here, and this icon tied to this outcome competency represents that this is mastery level competency data. And so this means that this could be a competency that was set by the administrator at the admin level, and just by tying it to this rubric and going through the simple motion of grading in Canvas, it's going to roll up data to the program level, to the institutional level, so that the Grace College has access to that data to show across all of our courses, here's how our students are measuring against these specific competencies. You could upload a document, you could upload a pre-recorded message. Here I could send a direct message to my student just saying, hey, great job. So once I submit that assignment, like I said, it's going to push to the gradebook, and all I have to do is I can tap here and move on to the next student. We are now in the gradebook, and everything in Canvas is interconnected. Gradebook columns are automatically created behind the scenes for you whenever you're creating an assignment, a quiz, a discussion. All of that is going to be created behind the scenes, and using SpeedGrader allows you to automatically populate the gradebook without actually having to go in here. Now, that being said, if you wanted to manually enter grades, you absolutely have the freedom to do so. So I could even go in here and I can make a change to this grade. So if I want to change this 12 to a 15, I can easily do so. I can grade these assignments manually. These colors on the gradebook represent these statuses. So things like late, missing, assignments. You'll see on the statuses tab here, we can make changes. We can even set custom hex code colors if you want to. If you were, for example, a math instructor and you had specific formulas you wanted to use in Excel, you can export the gradebook and you can easily import it. And once you've entered those Excel formulas, so you can easily export and import, you're seeing these different filters here. Things like assignment groups. So we talked about weighting, discussions, exercises, quizzes. This allows you to focus on just specific groups. You could even focus on specific modules. If you have multiple sections in your courses, you can easily filter the gradebook by sections. You can even search for specific students. So if we wanted to go here and search for Alex, it's going to allow me to pull up Alex. I could even search for specific assignments in here. Now, you're seeing the total score in here. We can drag and drop and move these columns around. Any point in the gradebook column here, you're going to see these three little dots, and you're going to see this message student who functionality. This allows me to reach out to any students who haven't submitted the assignment, students who maybe scored less than a certain percentage, so all students who scored less than a 75. And these students are not going to know that other students were sent a message as well. It's going to blind or BCC them on this. At any point in the gradebook, you can also tap on a student's name. So we're going to tap on Alex here, and it's going to pull up this student context card. It's going to show me a little bit about Alex's performance in my course, a little bit of background and context in how he's performing, the last 6 graded items, any participation, page views, activities. I can quickly go to Alex's grades, and I can also send Alex a message. He can even reply directly back from his email, and I'll be notified. So even though he's not actually going into Canvas and replying directly back to me. So one more thing on here is you're going to have these analytics in your courses, and we can go into the overall analytics for all courses, but we can tap on an individual student here, and we can track some analytical data. So we can track course grade, weekly online activity, the communication between myself and Alex in this course, and it's going to provide that data as a CSV, and we can always go in and pull that data. Now, I do want to show what the course analytics look like as well, because I think these are just as important. And so anywhere in Canvas, any course you have access to, you're going to have these course analytics, and they're going to be focused on grade analytics, activity analytics. So we can go in here and we can track and compare sections, individuals. So if we wanted to even compare a student here, so myself in here, I'm a sample student. I can compare my grades, the data here in terms of the entire course. We could compare section 1 to section 2 to see how they're performing against each other. And then same process when it comes to activity. I will note that you're going to have this message students who functionality built into this as well. So if you want to reach out to students who maybe have low scores, maybe it's they're showing low activity in your course, this is going to be built in anywhere in Canvas. So you're going to have access to all of this data. Send a student a message to say, is there anything we can do? Are you falling behind? Did they not view? Did they not participate? And then lastly is this these reports. So you're going to have access to reports to track anything like missing assignments, late assignments, excused assignments, class roster, or activity, and then the ability to track online attendance in your course. It allows you to actually control what online attendance means, because that can mean very many different things. across courses. So things like they have to participate in a discussion, they have to submit an assignment, they have to join a conference, they have to submit a quiz. Okay, so I'm now going to move on to the calendar here. And because everything in Canvas is interconnected, a simple change in the calendar is going to update everywhere in Canvas. So whether that's a due date change, whether that's creating an assignment directly from the calendar, I can go in here and I can just drag and drop this assignment or this quiz from the 5th to the 6th. And that's going to update that assignment date or that quiz date everywhere in Canvas. That's going to update on the syllabus. That's going to update on the modules. That's going to notify students. We can even shrink these down to specific courses. So if we just wanted to focus on something like early American history, we can start unchecking these courses and it's just going to show this specific course. And you're going to see these colors are going to represent those courses in the calendar here as well. Now we can even create office hours, events, or assignments directly from the calendar. Now I could create an assignment, a group assignment right here from the calendar. Now I can even go and hit more options. It's going to take me to that assignment creation so I can provide more details. But even just hitting submit is automatically going to create a gradebook column. So if you're a heavy Google Calendar or iCal user, you can push anything from the Canvas calendar to those calendars. It's automatically going to update your Gmail calendar, your Outlook calendar. It's going to be a one-way push, so it's not going to push the other way. But any change in Canvas, a simple drag and drop due date change automatically is going to update on your personal calendar as well. How are you taking your content from, or your course from your spring term and going to the fall term? And so we're going to go back to the dashboard, and typically your student information system will provide you with a blank course shell. See, I've got my Office GIF here. I'm going to go into this blank course shell. And this is also where you'd import a Moodle course. So you can easily go in here and you can import existing content. You can create content from scratch. But this is where you could go directly in. You can import that .mbz Moodle file. It's going to pull in all of that content from your Moodle course. Now for this example, we're going to be going in and we're going to be pulling in a pre-existing geology. Let's do the geology course. So we can select all content. Now, all we have to do, for this example, we're going to say we're moving from a spring term to a fall term. So all we have to do is adjust these dates. So let's say that we move from a spring, a January 15th start date with a May 11th end date. We just now have to change those dates from, say, August 27th to December 1st. Everything else is going to be done behind the scenes for you. So you're not having to go in and make all of these date changes. It's automatically going to adjust all of those dates. It will even take a 16-week spring course and we'll shrink it down to an 8-week summer course if you wanted to do that. You can even substitute days of the week. So if you're moving a Monday, Wednesday course to a Tuesday, Thursday course, you can easily make those adjustments as well. Now, all you have to do is hit import. Now, I will say it's not going to be perfect every single time. And the reason is it's not going to count for things like spring break or holidays. And so let's say that, one of those assignment dates fell on Memorial Day or Labor Day. Now, all we have to do is go back into that calendar and make that adjustment. So a simple drag and drop, let's say, for example, that this 19th is a holiday. All we have to do is adjust that, move it to the following week. Just like that, it's going to update everywhere in Canvas and it's going to fix those issues for you. All of that content from your Moodle course is going to carry over. There might be some massaging that you'll be going in and doing, whether it's dragging and dropping and moving some assignments around, whether it's making some name changes in there. But this is something that we see done every single day of Moodle institutions that are migrating into Canvas. So it's a smooth process.